This week on Berm Count, can you tell which helmet is the crashed helmet? What does a crashed helmet look like? Okay, folks, which helmet is the crashed helmet? Is it this one? Is it this one? Your choice. Which helmet needs to go in the trash? One of these does. Okay, so as you can probably tell from the question and the fact that it's so hard to tell between these two helmets, which one is the crashed helmet, the point of this video today is to let you know that crashed helmets look totally different from each other. Sometimes crashed helmets don't look really any different than the same helmet new. The difference just being that the foam inside has been through a crash. It's compressed. It will no longer save your head and brain the same way ever again. Once the foam is compressed, doesn't matter if the plastic on the outside broke. It doesn't matter if your visor broke. It doesn't matter if there's any visible damage at all. If you crashed hard enough to compress the foam, it doesn't uncompress. Like, the compressing of the foam during the accident is what caused it, or is what saved you, right? Like, it absorbed all that impact. It's done. It's not gonna like absorb that much impact ever again. So if you continue to ride a helmet after you've been in a crash where you hit your head, I would strongly consider thinking very carefully about it and replacing that helmet. So, okay, let's take a look at this helmet a little bit closer, and then I'll show you a helmet that was more obviously through a crash. So this is the crashed helmet, and if you look, I've cut out the strap so it can't ever be used again. No one's gonna mistake this for an uncrashed helmet. The only visible external mark on the whole helmet is right here on the chin bar. If you look, if I turn it here, this, so the crash that this helmet went through actually sent me to the hospital. And I actually had 2 surgeries to fix the injuries I had. And those injuries happened to my face, okay? So here, I came into a turn, and this is in my other video about it. There's a couple other videos on the channel, but I came into a turn super hard. I went over the bars, and I landed entirely on this side of the helmet. You can see, if you look real closely, a little bit of the scrape marks where it scraped along the ground, but it doesn't actually look that bad, and no plastic broke. And the only mark ended up being here. But if you look inside, and if you're eagle eye, there's cracks in the foam. This is where the foam fully compressed, and then it also broke away. And you won't even always see this in a crashed helmet. You can crash in a helmet hard enough that helmet's not going to be protecting you again, and you won't have this. But in this case, this was a really bad crash. The foam actually cracked here, and in fact, this whole chin bar buckled entirely. All this foam picked up a bunch of the impact. So you see from the inside view, there's buckling of that plastic, and there's further cracks in the foam over here. This helmet's totally toast. It's gonna go in the garbage. It will never protect me again. Let me show you what the brand new replacement looks like, so you can get a little bit of an idea what an uncrashed helmet looks like. But again, the point of the whole video is you can't tell by looking whether a helmet's been crashed or not. So here's a brand new helmet. There's no visible signs, of course, of a crash on the outside. It's never even been crashed. And you look at the foam, the way it looks in here, not much different. I hope that what you're seeing is it doesn't actually look much different, okay? This might appear to you in the video like a crack. It's actually just the overlay of where the foam's joined together up here. That's not a crack. You'll see it's on this side too. It's just like how they brought the 2 pieces of foam together as they manufactured it. So hopefully that's a bit of a lesson. You don't look at a helmet to know if it's been crashed and needs replaced. You know because you went through the crash. Let me show you now, though, an obviously visible damage to a helmet, what that looks like.
Okay, so Berm Count fans, so this is what a helmet looks like that was in a crash. Also, so sometimes you can see the damage to a helmet. I don't actually have this helmet anymore because I threw it away, but this helmet was my son was doing some jumps and he went over the bars and landed right here on the front, and the visor came up and chipped away some of this plastic on the exterior. Obviously, if you have damage like that, then throw that helmet out, replace it. By the way, one reason you should not be hesitant to replace a helmet, besides your own health and safety, of course, is you're going to get a crash replacement from most helmet brands. On both of these helmets, the last one was an IXS Trigger full face, and this was a Bell, and I don't remember the model, I'm sorry. But both companies gave me some form of crash replacement. Okay, so like IXS paid for half of it. If I remember right, Bell gave like some flat amount of money, but it paid for a whole new helmet. So here's some more of the side of that helmet. Obviously, there's damage. Some of you I see, I'm sorry, maybe not you that watch this, you're probably smarter than that, but I've seen people on the trails before wearing a helmet with damage like this. Don't do that. Throw that out. If you see like buckling along the plastic, clearly it means that the foam has been compressed. I mean, that should just be logically obvious. See, you have this kind of a thing here. If the foam bent and compressed, then the plastic layer over the top of it starts to buckle and wrinkle. If you have that foam's been compressed, it's no good. What protects you in the crash is that foam absorbing the impact. Once it's been compressed, it doesn't have the ability to do so anymore. And here is again a little more of the damage that happened to the helmet. You'll notice kind of what I'm talking about. Because the foam inside compressed, the plastic on the outside separated from the foam and broke. If you have a helmet like that where you're seeing the plastic separate from the foam, probably you crashed and that helmet needs replaced. Another thing people don't understand is if your helmet's sitting on like the tailgate of a pickup truck and you accidentally knock it off and it goes and falls down onto hard concrete, it's possibly no good anymore, okay? Just be smart, think about these things, and I want you to be safe when you are out there. If you want to protect your head, use a good helmet. The last thing I'll say is that most mountain bike helmet companies put a timeline of only like 4 or 5 years on their helmet because the foam itself decays over time. So it's also going to lose its absorbent properties, its impact absorbing properties, just by how old it is. So if you like Google, for example, just go Google like how long until I should replace my mountain bike helmet. You will run into like well-known safety body guidances like this MIPS article, which tells you plainly every 3 to 5 years. So every 3 to 5 years, you should replace a helmet even if it hasn't been crashed, okay? Now I have a Smith helmet, my half shell, and I've had it almost 4 years right now. And I'm going to replace it. I just replaced my full face because I was in a terrible accident that you can learn more about on this channel. And I'm going to replace my half shell as well just because it's old. So what does a crashed helmet look like? I hope that this helps you all understand visually. There are some signs you can look for, but sometimes a helmet doesn't even look any different once it's been crashed. It's still no good, and it still won't protect you in an accident the same way.